This is Southern Cross News with Rachel Williams.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. Tasmania remains on a high bushfire alert this evening, with dangerous weather conditions not expected to ease until later tonight. Fire crews are on standby with the potential for lightning activity to spark a blaze. We cross now live to our reporter Jacqueline Robson at fire headquarters. Good evening, Jacqueline. What's the latest on the fire danger?
Well, Rachel, there's been no major fires today, despite it being the most dangerous bushfire day we've had this season. There were a number of smaller bushfires across the state. Each managed to be contained quite quickly. The fire service is thanking the public for their help. Now, there's around 230 fire crews that remain on standby, with the fire danger extending into tonight. There is the potential of lightning activity, which is keeping crews alert.
We're still monitoring what fires are burning around the state. We'll continue to do that until late in the afternoon, because the severe fire weather for particularly the southeast and east coast is going to continue late until the evening.
A cold front's been approaching. It's forecast across the state this evening, but ahead of it there's been a lot of warm air, and it's been fairly dry and a little bit gusty as well.
With temperatures soaring across the state today, many were out to keep cool. Hobart was the maximum temperature, reaching 36 degrees. Launceston managed to get to 30 degrees.
We're going to walk across the gorge and try and go into the middle and just sit there, because it's like really hot.
Went for a swim, yeah.
Had a big nice walk, and saw some scenery. It's been great with the pools, really nice,
It was cold,
and cold.
but it was nice.
Now, Rachel, while it appears we've missed much of the fire danger, the public is being urged to remain vigilant. A total fire ban remains in place for tonight and will be reviewed later.
OK, thank you for that information there, Jacqueline. Jacqueline Robson at fire headquarters there. A 51-year-old woman from Granville Harbour has died in a single vehicle crash on the west coast. Tasmania Police say the woman's Suzuki Vitara veered off Heemskirk Road in Zeehan and struck a power pole around 10 o'clock last night. The woman died at the scene. Anyone who witnessed the crash is urged to contact Crime Stoppers. The state's major political parties continue to make election promises despite the official campaign yet to be called. Labor is planning to accelerate Tasmania's digital economy, as our Antarctic future is the eyes of the Liberals.
On the grounds of Tasmania's Art School, Madeleine Ogilvie announcing a digital economy minister if Labor wins the state election.
This is something other states and territories have already committed to. We need to do this because that will drive acceleration across both the industry but also within government to deliver what people want.
Despite there already being a Minister for IT and Innovation, Labor claims it's a $2 billion industry crying out for modernisation. The party today pledging to improve infrastructure, attract start-up businesses and create an advisory council on the sector for Tasmania.
We've got some programs that we're really keen on delivering. One of those is looking at our education sector in particular, looking at what our kids need to engage in the new economy.
The Liberals also spruiking its plan to support industry, releasing a strategy document to boost Tasmania's reputation as a hub for Antarctic research and industry.
The key areas, of course, relate to research, investment and market opportunities, as well as scientific collaboration.
Bringing science together with industry is very, very important for business in Tasmania.
The plan supporting local industry to remain competitive in securing work and research opportunities in Antarctica and the Southern Ocean.
This is something that's ongoing, it's something we can build on and, of course, create more jobs for Tasmanians locally.
Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
A tight-knit Tasmanian community has today gathered to celebrate the contributions of its unsung heroes. The hardworking volunteers recognised at an awards ceremony in Kingston.
An emotional show of acceptance. Anthony Owen, working for his local community for over 40 years, today recognised as Kingborough Citizen of the Year.
I just thought a nomination, so to win it, it's very humbling, so it's nothing I ever expect.
Mr Owen, usually found behind the scenes, but today enjoying a well-earned break from the cricket pitch.
Coaching and helping young children with cricket and improving facilities where we play cricket at Kettering in the general, the general area of the hall, the picket fence.
Hester Van Niekerk arrived as a new migrant in 1979 with nothing, but says the warm welcome and ongoing support from locals urged her to give back. She's now spent decades working with the community through the Lions Club. Today receiving a well-earned certificate of appreciation for her dedication in raising funds and awareness for children's cancer research.
Doing things like Day on the Beach and Love Living Locally and council barbecues and planting trees, many things, but my prime thing is childhood cancer.
Some just starting out in community service. This year's Young Citizen of the Year rewarded for her time spent working with Louise Van to help those in need.
It's really important that people in our community who have a more privileged life than others are able to give back and to support their community.
Whether it's providing infrastructure, whether it's providing a service, whether it's providing whatever their interests are, it makes our area far more rewarding.
The Friends of Peter Murrell Reserve won the Community Group of the Year. Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
Anticipation is building for one of the most competitive international sailing regattas set to begin in Hobart tomorrow. The SB20 World Sailing Championships will host almost 60 boats, battling it out on the tough conditions of the River Derwent.
For Tasmanian laser sailing champion Sam King, tomorrow is said to be his toughest battle on the water so far. The one-design class sailboat SB20, not his only challenge.
The calibre of the sailors. Like Hugo sitting next to me is a bit of a gun, and a lot of the Tasmanian guys like Robbie Goff and Michael Cooper and Nick Rogers.
All the good sailors like a one design class. It's not affected by the handicapper. The racing is very close. You get to the marks at the same time. There's lots of shouting and carrying on.
The laser class champion joins French sailing star Hugo Ferret in one of the most spectacular races on the River Derwent, an international entry proving solid in the lead-in pre-worlds.
The wind is really tricky, it's really shifty, and the level of the fleet is really high, so you have to fight every second, every minute to keep your leadership or to stay in the top places.
Among the heavyweights, the youngest skipper, 13-year-old Seisha Mayer, tackling youth and women divisions.
Right now we're trying to practice our jibes and tacks because we've noticed that they're really slow compared to other boats. Yeah, so that's what we're working on.
Tomorrow's championship set to draw a crowd of spectators, with Tasmania home to the biggest fleet of SB20s in the world.
This is one of the biggest sailing events I think we've had in Tasmania, you know, other than the end of the Sydney Hobart each year. This is one of the biggies.
I think it's absolutely wonderful and really good for Tasmania as a state, just to get all these people down and show them what we have to offer.
The race begins at 1 p.m. Jacqueline Robson, Southern Cross News.
Hobart Hurricane Brooke Hepburn admits the side's batting lineup isn't playing at its best. The Hurricanes are still winless after 6 games in the WNBL, and no player has scored more than 40 runs in an innings. Hepburn was a standout against the Sydney Thunder last week though, when she took 2 for 14.
I think my consistency hasn't quite been there in the first half of the season, so for me it's just about going in and having a really confident plan and executing where I can and doing what I need for the team to get a win.
The Hurricanes play the first of 2 games against the Brisbane Heat tomorrow. Qualifying matches have begun for the Hobart International ahead of the first round of action. 2016's winner Alizé Cornet had a different warm-up, hosting today's Kids Tennis Day. After missing last year's event due to injury, the 27-year-old from France says she's fully fit this time around.
I remember how I was playing 2 years ago. I just knew that I was in the zone for the whole week. I was just focused on my thing and it all went my way.
Cornet is also qualified for this year's Australian Open. Richie Port will round out this year's National Road Cycling Championships tomorrow when he takes part in the 185-kilometre road race. Port was in action yesterday when he took out bronze in the time trial. It was his first time trial since last year's shocking crash in the Tour de France.
Season ahead came home with the bronze medal.
I really enjoyed the last 2 months. I don't have any problems from the accident, but it's just nice to be fit and healthy and getting results already in January.
The gold went to Port's BMC teammate Rowan Dennis. A teenager has blitzed the field in the nation's richest handicap woodchopping event. Tyson Rowe went into today's thousands as a clear underdog before executing the chop of his life to take the title. Another tough-as-nails field swung the axe at today's Tasmanian Government Thousands. Now in its 57th year, the event is renowned for its unpredictable nature.
That's the mystery of this great event. All these great wood choppers in the world have come to Tasmania to chop in the 1,000, and they've got cut out in the first round.
It was one of the few titles David Foster never won.
In my heyday, I got second in it 3 times and third in it 2 or 3 times. Could never ever win it.
5 previous winners were chasing $10,000 in prize money, making this the country's richest handicap chop. Despite some favourites going out early, the final still featured some world-class axemen, although one notable omission was Cody Steers, who fell in the final qualifying cut-off. But it was a 17-year-old from Deddington who shocked the field. Considered a roughie by punters, rising star Tyson Rowe claimed the biggest win of his career to date, making for a fulfilling father-son moment.
Dad kind of brings me along and helps me out a fair bit. He's been cutting since he's about 13, 12 or 13, cutting in the little boys' chops. Yeah, and slowly progressed to this.
Yet another underdog on the thousands winners list.
Good evening. A hot 36 degrees in Hobart today. That was the state's top. Launceston reached 30, Burnie cooler with 21, while Devonport reached a top of 23 degrees. Elsewhere, Ouse 35, Grove, Flinders and King Island all 34 today, 29 at Strawn, Scottsdale and the Friendly Beaches 27, St Helens 25, Low Head 21, with temperatures as much as 10 degrees above the average today. An extensive frontal cloud band embedded with thunderstorms sat over parts of WA and into the Bight. A closer look and middle to high level cloud mainly over western and northern parts today. Tomorrow a trough sits close to the southwest of Tasmania as a cold front weakens over the Tasman Sea. A trough also extends over southern states while a ridge builds over the Bight. Northwest to southwesterly winds at 15 to 25 knots, reaching 30 knots about the south and lower east. Swells to 1 metre in the north, but up to 4 metres in the west and south. And a strong wind warning is current from Wineglass Bay to Low Rocky Point. There is also a very high fire danger for the Midlands. Sunday's forecast now a cooler but pleasant 24 in Hobart, Richmond and Ouse both 26. A sunny day for Launceston 27, 23 in Devonport and Deloraine a sunny 26. Burnie tomorrow sunny and 23, Strawn and Curry both looking at a top of 20 with partly cloudy conditions. A possible late shower for St Helens 22, Swansea a sunny 22 also and Whitemark a top of 23 degrees. The UV forecast is extreme across the entire state once again. On to Monday and showers about the west increasing during the morning but fine elsewhere. Tuesday showers again extending from the west and contracting to the east by late afternoon. And Wednesday a fine day apart from some light showers about the north and the east. A partly cloudy day for Melbourne tomorrow 22. Sydney a hot 40 degrees on the way. Canberra hot also 39. Adelaide 26 with rain forecast for Darwin expecting 30 degrees. And it's still warm in Hobart, 27, 25 in Launceston, rain in Devonport and 21. And Rachel, a reminder, the total fire ban is still in place until midnight tonight.
Yeah, thank you for that, Laura. Well, that's all your news for now. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great evening. Good night.